Sounds correct.
Would you guys just look at that? Look at how awesome that looks. I don't want to take full credit for it because I didn't build it, but I definitely came up with that idea. And Bruce will back me up on that one, but we've been talking about doing it for a while, and Bruce finally pulled the trigger. I actually didn't even show it to me when it was up, but it looks killer. So obviously we are up here at Southside Sales and Service, guys. And as you know, I'm coming out of retirement and I'm going racing this weekend. This upcoming weekend, I keep saying January, February 24th, for Adirondack Cross Country Race Series. We are running at Caroga Lake, New York. It's a one-day event. It's just Saturday. I will be racing first thing in the morning, and I will be racing the last race of the day, which I'm assuming is probably 3 o'clock or so. But anyway, so we're up here to build the race sled for this weekend. And now the man, the myth, the legend, pretty much I got the opportunity from Justin, who owns this sled, to race it this upcoming weekend. And kind of the only way I was going to do it is if this guy was setting it up. So I made a call to old Brucey here.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and here we are. I was just telling him about the flag and whose great idea that was.
Yeah, no, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, that looks incredible. It really came out good.
Did a great job.
But yeah, so we're here. So pretty much we're going to kind of explain to you guys what to do. And this is a new world for me as well. I've never been ice racing. Bruce has done it a little bit in the past and has helped guys along the way. And I mean, Bruce is just, he kind of knows everything about everything. So
Not everything.
Mostly everything. So we have a 22 Polaris cross-country race sled here. So this is a 600cc, if you guys don't know. 600cc, it's a very spicy 600. It's a 136. Very similar to an XER sled that you could buy, a consumer can buy. But we're here to change a little thing. And now Bruce already started doing some of the stuff. So we're going to let him kind of explain, how do you set a sled up for ice?
Well, first thing we got to know is if it is all ice, or if it is plowed, or if it's not plowed, because it can turn into a cross-country race on the ice because it gets whooped out. So it really makes a difference of how much travel you want in the sled. Because if it's all ice, you can have as little travel as you can and get it nice and low.
As low as you can possibly go.
Yeah, low and fast. But if there's snow on the lake and they haven't plowed, now you can get some whoops in the center. So now you do need some suspension. Well, with this winter, it certainly sounds like there's not going to be, or if the snow is on the lake that's there is light, it'll just get blown off. So we'll be dealing with mostly ice.
Right.
So I went after, Polaris's ice setup, which is, certain length shocks, front and rear. Obviously you use a strap in the center. So everything will be shortened right down.
Right.
And
now for the people that don't know, how do you shorten them?
I take them apart, like here. Like here's a standard length shock, and then here's what I did yesterday. So
like a little itty bitty.
Yeah. So this has a spacer inside of it that doesn't allow the shock to come out. So in essence, it holds your height. So this length that they're looking for is the height of the rear of the sled, and then yes, you pull the strap up accordingly to do kind of the things we talked about for trail, where we try to get not so much weight on that front track so that it wants to turn when it goes around the corner. Well, this is like extreme effect.
Yeah, super.
That.
Yeah.
Because with all the picks that'll be on this, if there's too much track on the ground, it'll just push right through the turn.
Mm-hmm.
It'll just drive it like a tractor. So you pull that up so that you get that idea of pivoting on the tail, and then both skis are on the ground with those real sharp carbides that they use. That we'll get into that here in a little bit as we're building this. So
but
that even those carbides, as sharp as they are, don't work if the track is pushing it through the turn. Either that, or you're going to have arms bigger than what you already have to turn the thing.
Oh, thanks, Bruce.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like that, quad thing.
Yeah, quad thing. I get it.
So so what I did is I used something with a rebound adjust, just so we have a little bit more adjustment, high-low speed. And then in general, the length is correct. The length on the front is correct. Again, we'll pull the strap up and get the sled on a flat plane. How much track do we want on the ground? Mm-hmm. And all that has a lot to do with even how hard the ice is. If it's soft ice or if it's hard ice, that makes a big difference is how much traction those needles give it. So
yeah, and I mean, judging by what I'm seeing, we're gonna have a cold day Saturday.
it looks like the only cold
cold day. Yes. Yeah. So it's gonna be warm, and then it's gonna be really cold. So I'm assuming everything's gonna freeze up. But we have some parts coming from Polaris race department to change over to kind of get to their spec, sway bar stuff.
Heavier sway bar.
Yeah, heavier sway.
Sure. We're using the 125 springs, which came stock on this unit that year. But with the shocks being threaded all the way, you can still get, okay, I only want a 1/2 inch of preload, or I want this. You know, it's not like you're squeezing the spring way far just because we shortened the shock so much. Because we shortened it about 2.5 inches in the front to get the nose down.
Yeah, so obviously you guys will see it once it's all done and on the ground. You're going to be like, oh, wow, that's really low. And we can put my Assault next to it that's here. But yeah, so pretty much I'm going to yank the rear out so we could change shocks over. So all things that we're going to do, but just kind of want to give you guys a baseline of the idea around how this is all going to work. And I mean, everyone's going to be different, you know, different setups and whatnot. So we're going to kind of shoot for the middle of the road and learn a lot in a little bit of time. So, and we'll be doing a whole video on that day too. So, but yeah, so I'm going to flip it up on its side, get the rear skid out, and then I'm going to start studding. And when we get to that, then we'll talk about studs. I'm getting the royal treatment here this week. Bruce just marked all the track and he just started drilling. I thought I was going to get stuck drilling, but he's drilling.
What are these cameras?
Oh, those are buddy of mine here.
Oh.
I got.
You're going to say that you're using them things.
No, definitely not.
He'll be snow plowing.
Yeah. All right. So Bruce marked in his drilling track, but we wanted to just kind of sit here and talk about what studs we're using. Again, big shout out to Woody's. Gave them guys a shout, and they were right on board to get us all set up with what we need. So these are 45-degree modified gold diggers. And as you can see, focus, they are sharp. I don't know why this will not focus. I think Bruce is going to get a standard one. And I was correct.
So difference being is, you know, plenty of the tracks that we stud for consumers, we use a megabyte, which is a 4-sided ground stud. So it gives it a little bit of edge as far as something to push against. It's not just a round stud. It's something that, you know, Rick has put together years ago, you know, from the kind of the entry-level carbide stud to megabyte to gold digger. Gold digger being what we're dealing with here. Gold digger has a lot more work done in the bottom of the head as far as how it contours into the track compared to just a flat head. And even inside, this is a kind of a serrated thing to keep it from turning, locking it in. And this here, they actually dish it out, so it actually cups the track in it with a gold digger. But again, they're more money. So common, we're using this stuff. But and more blunt, you know, again, for traction in hard snow, frozen snow, you know, the normal trail kind of stuff. Where this, we're looking for penetration in hard ice. So, and then I see he sent you 1325s, not 1450s, because we talked about that different in stud between going 1.450 or 1.325 in that Cobra 1.352 track.
Right.
And legal wise, we have to use that because when they're screwed in, everything's tight, that 3/8 out is what we're always looking for. And
when you're racing, it's a
thing. You gotta have it. Whereas when we're using that 1.450 for the trail guys, it's that little bit more, because I always kind of go by the point of where the point wears off, and then it gets to that 3/8, which is good for the trail guy because you still get that penetration in the crappy stuff that we've been riding in. But whereas if you use a 1.325 and it wears the tip off, then it's a little less. Yep.
And our back hurt. I actually didn't get cut on those things, did you?
I didn't, no.
Yeah, I got stabbed a couple times, but no blood was drawn. So we have our 200 and something Woody's modified gold diggers in and ready for action. Rick, again, from Woody's, helped us out with stud pattern. He sent us a couple options and then ultimately said, actually, you know what, use this one.
Yep.
And
yeah, so It is a pretty nice pattern how they, we do the normal V in here, so we're getting those scratch lines. But then even in the outside, which we don't normally ever stud in the outside anymore, on this we have
race application, guys.
Ice for sure. He actually uses that in a V also, so definitely a aggressive pattern.
Yep. So I mean, we're not gonna get practice really, so we're gonna. First race Saturday morning is going to be a big test of...
It's going to be a test, all right.
Yeah, it's going to be...
A thumbs up or a thumbs down. Yeah.
But we were just saying it's going to leave hard for sure. Yeah. I mean, which is good because we're all starting at the same time. So we'd like to be out in front of a lot of people and get some clean air. And then rely on me to figure it out in a hurry.
Yeah.
Bruce, what in the world did you build me?
A very low snowmobile.
I mean, it is on the floor, which, as we said in the beginning of the video, is kind of the name of the game for what we're going for. Yeah. It's going to be 100% ice. So, again, Bruce got with the guys from Polaris Race Department, and this is to spec what they wanted.
Yeah, the length of the shocks in the front is what sets the ride height in the front. The length of the shock in the rear track is what sets the ride height in the back.
Yep. And as you saw in the beginning of the video, it's very short.
Very short. And then the front track is held by the strap setting, as we always talk about, pulling the strap or whatever for trail riding. This is pulled a lot. I mean, like, you had to pull it and then cut strap off. Yeah. So it's, you shorter spring and everything because you've got it pulled down so far.
Yep, and that's the name of the game, get them low. We added the rear idler wheel or bogey wheel, whatever you want to call it, right where the rail tips there. Try and save some high facts. We did put in Vespa high facts. Is that how you say them?
I'm not sure how you pronounce it, honestly.
Okay, well, we're going to go with that then. Obviously, we put CNAs on. These are XPTs. We have carbides, but they are only going to touch ice. They don't touch anything else. Yep. So they're not on right now. But of course, obviously, our buddies over at CNA were jumped on board for this. Rocks, it's going to be cold on this Saturday. So we did go with gauntlets. I did not put the bars in that go around. Sometimes you fight with them a little bit, and I don't want it to give me too much of a hard time. So, but that's it. Bruce sealed up this side between the belly pan and the front bulkhead there, so no water or anything can get in there. Can get to the clutches. Yeah. We have to do clutches still. We got to finish that. We have to swap out the sway bar that we got from Polaris Race Department. Yeah,
so it's a heavier sway bar, and then it's going to be all about what it feels like, just like driving a race car. Is it going to be loose? Is it going to be tight? With what kind of ice it is? So that's going to be all your feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we have two races. We're the first race in the morning, so like 9 a.m. I think, green flag drops. That's a 25-miler. And then we're the last race of the day, so anywhere between 2:30 to 4 o'clock. We don't really know yet. That's actually a 75-miler with a fuel stop. So without having any practice, our first race is going to be practice. So we're going to see how it feels and see how I could figure it out and go from there. But the game plan is get out front, get some clean air, and go.
Yeah, it should be. And also we cut the seat today.
Oh yeah, we did cut the seat. Yeah.
The stock seat, as we know on a Matrix, is fairly high. So we decided to let's get you down a little bit lower because you want to be sitting in the sled, not on the sled.
Right.
So
and it does. I mean, here I'll have Bruce hold the camera and we'll end it out. But like even just sitting in it, it gets you right into this pocket, like right tight into this pocket.
Oh yeah.
Which is obviously the goal of this entire thing. But nice and low, lower your center of gravity. So like I said, we have sway bar clutches. Put stickers on from 139 Designs when they get here tomorrow. Just number stickers, nothing crazy.
Yep.
And go from there. But big shout out to everyone that helped out. One, Bruce holding the camera, because without him, this wouldn't have been possible. We've been up here for 2 days just thrashing on this thing. So big shout out to Bruce, Woody's, CNA, Rock Speed,
our buddy Will from Velocity Sled Performance, 139 Designs, everyone that makes this world go round, and True Temp. True Temp chipped in and helped pay for some fuel for me to get there. So
nice.
Big shout out to Josh from True Temp. And but that's it. If you guys are free Saturday, come see us. We'll be there. Bruce will be there. I'll be there. Both of our trailers will be set up. I'll have a couple sweatshirts and t-shirts and hats. So come stop, say hi. We'll have the whole middle of the day to BS with you guys. So, but that's going to do it. We're going ice racing, guys. See you.
Great.
For physical reference, I wanted to put Bruce's cross country, that's full travel, next to our little shorty we got here. And again, as you can see, quite lower. It almost looks like it's like a an Evo, like the 550 Evos that Polaris has, that they're really low. That's what it feels like. It looks like.